Welcome to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are the B Prep Show.
And we're coming to you from Carson, California, the grand finale for high school football, but these games will be in Sacramento starting next year.
Welcome back for another edition of the B Prep Show. I'm Mike Finnerty, joined as always by Joe Davidson of the Sacramento Bee, and we are coming to you from the StubHub Center here in Carson, California for the CIF State Championship games. And Joe, what a weekend it was for the Folsom Bulldogs.
What a great weekend for two Sacramento area teams. Central Catholic of Modesto small school football, a three-peat, a state champions. We'll give you an inside look there. Folsom Bulldogs 16-0. How did it happen? What does it mean? How great are they? We're going to introduce you to some players and coaches with an inside look on what makes them uniquely unique.
Yes, and there was some news over the weekend about next year's and the next 3 years state championship games will be played at Sacramento State. We'll talk more about that, and I'll have you tell us what that all means after 9 years here in Southern California. So we got a whole lot in this show. We're going to start off with the Division I state championship game. You got the Folsom Bulldogs taking on Oceanside of San Diego. We lead off our state championship highlights with the Division I game where the Folsom Bulldogs were looking for their second state title in 5 years, scoring off against the Oceanside Pirates, a team with only one loss on the season. We'll get right to it, and striking first was Oceanside with his quarterback keeper, and it's 7-0 Pirates on the game's opening possession. But Folsom comes right back, puts together a long drive, capped off by this Jake Browning touchdown, and it's 7-7. Want to see wide open? How about Jake Morgado? He makes the easy catch and puts the Bulldogs on top at 14-7 early in the second quarter. After an Oceanside turnover, Folsom capitalizes just 30 seconds later. Browning down the middle for Josiah DeGuara. Nice pass, nice catch, and now it's a 21-7 game. The first half onslaught only continued. Here's Bailey Lealagi scoring from a yard out. Who hasn't scored yet? How about Trey Green? Well, Green finds the end zone, and it's now 34-7 with 2:18 left in the half. Folsom has a play called disco, and here it is. Browning pitches to Cole Thompson, who gives it to Josiah DeGuara, and he's going to cut it loose. He goes deep to Green, and what a play executed to perfection. Then, moments later, they decide to go back to Green, who takes it in for another score, and it's a 46-7 lead for the Bulldogs by the end of the half. Not much change in the second half, though. Browning, he's going to go deep to Jake Jeffrey. That's going to up the lead to 48-7 in the third. This time, Browning to Thompson on the slant. It's now 55-7 late in the third. And for Thompson, that gives him a single-season state record of touchdowns with 35. Late in the game, a screen pass to Brian Weldy becomes a thing of beauty. Weldy is going to turn on the speed, and he is gone. It is now a 62-7 game. Then, in the final seconds, Tyler Crandall is going to sack the quarterback, force a fumble, and Bailey Lealagi is going to scoop it up and run it in for the score. As the game comes to a close, players and coaches celebrate on the field for what would be a 68-7 win. How good was Folsom? Its 68 points was a state record for any division, and its 915 points on the season was the second most in national prep history. The Bulldogs had 10 sacks against Oceanside, another bowl record, with 5 of those sacks coming from Lucas Hendricks. Jake Browning, he threw his 91st touchdown pass, a national record for a season ago with his 229 for his career, also a record. Folsom, also the first large school in Northern California to go 16-0. With all that, we talked to the champs after the game.
I mean, we started kind of slow, but you know, as the game went on, we started getting it together. We started moving, and once we start going, you know, we don't stop. We didn't take our foot off the pedal the whole game, and just no better feeling than winning state. Doesn't get much better.
I think we dominated, minus the first play. The first drive, we settled in and we just dominated from there on out. It was a good game.
We just fought. We knew we were going to give it all. It's our last game together as a group. We've been playing since we were this short, man. So it means a lot. It wasn't easy, but we fought hard.
I cannot tell you, like, just how amazing this is, and the record really, it didn't mean much to me. Just playing this game with the guys I've played for 10 years and finishing it out the right way.
There's no one else I'd rather win this game with, and to win a state championship it's an indescribable feeling.
All right, Mike, good stuff. More on Folsom football, why the Bulldogs work, what the coaches are all about, what Jake Browning is, more than just a powerful right arm. And we'll talk about De La Salle, the superpower down in Bay Area. I think people have heard about them, and what makes the Spartans so unique. All that's coming up, but let's talk small school football. Central Catholic, wow, going for a state Division IV three-peat. You've heard about them. You got to see them.
Yes, we got a chance to see the Raiders take on St. Margaret's. Here are your highlights. We've got the Division IV state championship game now, where the Central Catholic Raiders of Modesto came in looking for their third straight state championship, and standing in their way was the St. Margaret's Tartans of San Juan Capistrano. To the action we go, and it's Central Catholic quarterback Hunter Petlansky capping off an impressive drive as he takes it in from a yard out, putting the Raiders up 7-0 midway through the first. That score would hold until the second quarter, when Petlansky was going to roll right, look to the end zone, and he finds his man Jared Rice for a touchdown. And that'll make it a 14-0 game for Central Catholic. The Raiders kept it going in the second quarter. This time, it's Montel Bland from 3 yards out to put Central Catholic up 21-0. Then in the final seconds of the half, the Raiders tack on 3 more points with this 31-yard field goal from Bryce Wade, as Central Catholic dominates the second quarter, dominates the first half, and heads to the break with a commanding lead of 24-6. Third quarter now, it's a combination of Petlansky to Rice. It works every time. The Raiders, they're going to go up 31-6 with that touchdown. St. Margaret's would add a couple late scores, but it was too little, too late, as Central Catholic cruises to a 31-19 win. The Raiders make it 3 straight Division IV state championships, all under head coach Roger Canepa. And what a day for junior quarterback Hunter Petlansky, who accounted for 3 touchdowns on the day. And we caught up with both gentlemen, but first, his coach.
It's special getting 1. It's a little more special getting 2, but 3, I'm going to relax. I'm tired. And it's great for the town and the community, and it shows how hard work pays off. It doesn't matter if you're playing basketball, baseball, or just your job. And these kids have worked hard to get here, and they deserve everything they get.
At the beginning of the year, we always had to remind ourselves that we're not the last 2 years' teams, we're this year's team. But, that's always the ultimate goal, is to win a championship. So it was great to do it 3 years in a row.
One final game to show you this coming in the Open Division game, where the De La Salle Spartans of Concord were taking on the Centennial Huskies of Corona. De La Salle came up short in the open game last year. Could they get back on track this year? Well, it didn't take long for the Spartans to find the end zone. On the game's opening drive, it's Andrew Hernandez busting through the middle for a touchdown and a quick 7-0 lead. After Centennial tied it, De La Salle went back on top on this Chris Vanderklut keeper around the left side, and it's a 14-7 Spartans lead. For much of the first half, it was just 2 teams trading touchdowns and not much defense, as Centennial finished the first quarter up 21-20. Now watch this. Antoine Custer around the right side. He's hit and he flips. He keeps his balance, and that is a touchdown. That's going to tie the game at 28-all. From there, De La Salle would score again to go up 35-28 at the half. The second half would also belong to the Spartans, as they beat Centennial by a final of 63-42. It's De La Salle's 6th state title, and the only team in the state to reach all 9 bowl games. All right, Joe, the De La Salle Spartans' dominance continues. Do you see the train slowing down anytime soon?
No chance. I mean, this is an amazing program, and I think it's a program to be appreciated and admired, because it's really helped put Northern California on the whole national map. Excellent blocking schematics, great speed, great coaching, great preparation, and you never hear opponents, coaches or players or administrators, complain about the class or unsportsmanlike behavior of De La Salle. It doesn't happen. It's a top-notch class organization. Coming to Sacramento for 3 bowl games, maybe, the Spartans, people ought to come out and watch this program.
Well, a lot of comments with Folsom's impressive win, and should they have played De La Salle? Can they hang with De La Salle? That's the questions that keep coming up now because of that big win.
Yeah, and you know what? Folsom would hang with De La Salle, but De La Salle has owned Northern California since the beginning of Northern California, and the CIF tried that, and it didn't work with the NorCal Open division because De La Salle just owns it. The Spartans earned their bye to the state championship. Can't argue it.
Yep, I agree. All right, we got a lot more left in this show. Coming up, we're going to introduce you to Jake Browning. You think you might know him, but we give you a little insight on that star quarterback for Folsom. Also, later in the show, we catch up with Folsom co-head coach Chris Richardson. We got a whole lot left. Don't go away.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
We want to thank our title sponsor, Save Mart Supermarkets. Shop Save Mart up and down the Central Valley.
Welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California, all over the Northern California and the state CIF football championships. We're here at Carson the last year. The next 3 years will be at Sacramento State. We'll break that down and how that went down later on in the show. Some Folsom Bulldogs on the brain, 16-0. Mike, I'm up in the press box watching this team. You're on field level with a camera watching this team. What really stands out with this Bulldogs?
You know what stands out? A couple things, actually. Just how well they play together. They do look like a group of brothers who get along, play well. It seems to be a harmonious sidelines. And, of course, when you're talking about on the field, we're talking about strength, power, precision. There's nothing really that Folsom can't do with this year's team. If they want to run the ball, they'll beat you up that way. On defensive side, if they want to stuff you, we saw Lucas Hendricks, we saw Sam Whitney, they'll get in the backfield. From your viewpoint up in the press box, what are you seeing?
I see the same thing. I see old school football values of line play, of technique, dominance, nastiness. So this isn't just a finesse spread team. And then you have a guy named Jake Browning who's a pretty good quarterback, and the whole motto is protect the quarterback, we'll take you apart. Defensive line pursuit, phenomenal. Sam Whitney, Lucas Hendricks. Secondary, special teams, superbly prepared team, great conditioning. Troy Taylor, Chris Richardson, 68-7 over a 14-0 Oceanside team. Wow, and that was a week after laying the wood to a 14-0 Grant team. That is, by every measure, Mike, the Folsom Bulldogs 2014 are the greatest football team in Sac Joaquin section history. The points, the defense, the execution, the opponents Folsom waylaid through, it's the best. I think it ends that argument. There are players from the 1975 Cordova team that went 11-0, national #1 team. Some of those players are saying, hey, my brothers won't appreciate this. The next class reunion won't be too friendly, but the Folsom team is the best ever, and I think that's great.
All right, Joe, we had a chance to catch up with Folsom quarterback Jake Browning. We know about the numbers. We know how great a teammate is, but you got some funny questions his way, and we caught up with him as a part of our school's financial credit union Game On Athlete of the Week. It's Jake Browning.
Talk about the whole career in general and this season and what it meant to play with these guys and what it means long-term for you.
Lifetime friendships, kind of a second family, and I grew up in the community of Folsom, played football there forever, and it's been a great career.
And someday you will look back at some of these accomplishments and you'll appreciate it, won't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, got all the trophies and know of all the awards and all that, but I think it's the friendships and all that, and then, like I said, kind of the second family that means the most.
What does family mean to you beyond football guys?
People that you're close to, people that you share good memories with. My own family, and then obviously the Folsom Bulldog family. Just people that are looking out for you.
What did your dad help teach you about football and life and preparation?
Growing up, he was the one that helped me a lot, along with Coach Taylor. And one of the best things he taught me was just kind of day-to-day things, things about like any dad would do, becoming a man and stuff like that.
And then you have a fondness for your kid sister, Ella. You call her Monster in all the affectionate ways.
Yeah, she's the youngest of everybody, and so she's got, everybody's got a big personality in my family, but she definitely has a big one too.
Heading to Washington to play for the Huskies in the Pac-12, excited, proud?
Yeah, committed back in March and feel great about it. Feel like if everybody in the world would offer me, that's where I want to go.
And you have said before, and we want to expand. You're a quarterback, but you're not to be defined by a quarterback. What do you mean?
Football is going to last. Hopefully it lasts a long time, but it's not going to last forever. And, trying to learn some skills that can go and be meaningful once football's over through football. So, learning like the hard work and how to, work with other people and stuff like that, I think is just as important as being a quarterback and going through your reads.
You've got a great sense of humor. You have an offensive lineman, Cody Creason. You posted on Twitter. Has anybody seen his neck? Have you guys found the neck?
We're still looking a little bit, but we'll get a magnifying glass or something like that.
Good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Always fun to watch this guy compete, and he really understands big picture life and what it means, and he's sincere. 229 career touchdowns, national record that'll never get broken, I don't think. 91 touchdown passes this season. That's a national record. That's amazing. The love of his life is his 2-year-old kid sister, Ella. He took a special needs student to the prom. This guy is big time. He's up at Washington any day now. We haven't seen the last of Jake Browning. He's only going to get better, and that spread's pretty scary.
All right, Joe, we are halfway through this show. We're going to talk to Chris Richardson. He's Folsom's terrific co-head coach. And later on in the show, we're going to tell you a little bit more about Sac State getting that 3-year deal to host the state football championships. But as we go to break, we have more words from your champion Bulldogs.
Yeah, it was definitely a great team win. Oceanside's a great team. We came in with our plan and we executed it just like our coaches coached it up. And, like I said, team win. No one wins games like that without it being a team win.
I felt good about the game, but I knew they're very well coached, and I felt like if we executed, we could score points, and I felt like we could stop them. But you never expect to have a big score. You just want to score one more point than they do.
Our coaches they spend hours and hours on the game plan every week, and we come out and we execute, and then stuff like this happens, and we win a state championship. So it's awesome.
We've been practicing really well this past week, and we've just been doing everything we can to work our moves and everything, and it paid off. Woo!
There's a history you feel when you visit any of the Von Hausen automotive dealerships. You'll sense the quality of Mercedes-Benz, and you'll experience the low-pressure atmosphere that comes from 2 generations of family ownership. Mercedes-Benz of Sacramento, Mercedes-Benz of El Dorado Hills, and Mercedes-Benz of Rockland. 3 great reasons to drive one of the world's best automobiles. Come feel the difference or visit vonhausen.com.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, starting with Save Mart Supermarkets, where fresh comes first. Shop at Save Mart up and down the Central Valley. Schools Financial Credit Union, banking for everyone, value, convenience, and emerging technology. Von Hausen Automotive Group, celebrating 50 years with Mercedes-Benz. Stop dreaming and start driving. Roseville Auto Mall. If you're looking for a used car, go to the Roseville Auto Mall with over 6,000 vehicles to choose from. And Les Schwab Tires. Since 1952, we promise we'll get you more for your money.
Welcome back to the best high school sports in Northern California, even statewide, since we're here for the state CIF football championships, the grand finale of the season here at StubHub Center. I'm wearing the headgear. You're wearing no headgear. We talked a lot of football early in the segments. Football's here. Now let's talk about a unique coach. Folsom co-head coach Chris Richardson. And we've talked about this before, Mike. Your coach in high school is your rock, your foundation. He praises his co-coach, Troy Taylor, says he's the best offensive mind he's ever dealt with. Troy Taylor says, no, this guy's the rock, he's the foundation. You got up to coach after that win. He actually looks better than he did after the state championship back in 2010. He didn't look like he was near death.
Yeah. Well, we talk about the win, obviously, over Oceanside, and just feeling better, and it's a different situation 4 years later. Chris Richardson just finished his 10th year as head coach and co-head coach for the Folsom Bulldogs, and it ends with a 16-0 season and his second state title with a convincing 68-7 win over Oceanside of San Diego.
Our guys played extremely well tonight. Again, in that first drive on defense, lost contain a couple times, but our guys adjusted quickly, and we came out and from that point on dominated the game. So it was pretty great performance by our guys.
When you have an offense that sets state and national records, it's easy for the defense to get overlooked, but the defense has been equally as dominant.
It's not something you go into thinking, we're going to, put 55 on somebody or running clock or whatever. But, again, we just push the tempo, been playing great defense all year. been dominant up front on both sides of the ball, and of course we got Jake Browning and Troy dialing it up. I mean, it's pretty fun to be a part of.
Quarterback Jake Browning came into the game with all the individual accomplishments, but it was the title he wanted, and Coach Richardson is happy for Browning and his seniors.
Everyone always talks about Folsom's offense, but the one thing that you're going to be able to look back on this whole season, as people look back, it's going to be how dominant our defense was. We just dominated up front. We have an incredible senior linebacking core and a ball hawking secondary. I mean, it's everything you can ask for in a high school defense, and two great coordinators in Sam Cole and Valalagi dialing up, and guys like Rob Lobeast, Ty Wilson, Nick Payton. I mean, it's just an incredible defensive staff, and they just did a great job all year.
68 points in the state championship to make an average of 57 points a game for the season. How many points they score isn't the plan, but playing their game is.
I really wanted to be sure that he went out with a state championship. So, I'm so glad that all our seniors, obviously, to get to that NorCal championship and get against that De La Salle wall, to finish their senior years capping it off as a Division I state champion, that's pretty special to me. I feel very honored to be a part of that.
The past 3 years, Richardson has been the co-head coach, along with his good friend Troy Taylor. But when Folsom captured the Division II state championship in 2010, Richardson was the head coach, and a long season took a toll.
I made a point to be sure that I wanted to enjoy this one a little more. That one in 2010, that wore you down, and I was stressed and not knowing how things worked in terms of the logistics. This one coming into it, extremely well prepared. Again, Troy and the defensive staff had everything dialed up in terms of the game plans, so I was able to plan the logistics but enjoy this one too. And that was one of the things I wanted to be sure that when this game ended, I wasn't emotionally spent and not able to enjoy it. I'm loving it right now. This is a special feeling.
What's also different about this year, he could enjoy the win with his son Cooper, a junior offensive lineman on the team.
He was the ball boy in 2010, and now he's a junior offensive lineman. And Caden, my middle school son, is an 8th grader, and then my daughter there. The whole family. I mean, like I said, I wanted to be sure that I took it in a little bit better in 2010, and it's been really well worth it.
Great pride for Coach Chris Richardson. Has his family involved. His wife Kelly runs around like she owns the place. She's got all that passion. She makes championship cakes. I think there's one for this one here. More football, if you will, good sir. Couple championship quarterbacks.
2 quarterbacks we're going to honor from this weekend's state championships as part of our Von Hausen Stars of the Week. This week's Von Hausen Stars of the Week are Jake Browning of Folsom and Hunter Petlansky of Central Catholic. Browning, the 6'2", 210-pound quarterback, was as good as he has ever been in his final game for the Bulldogs, a 68-7 win over Oceanside for the Division I state championship. For his efforts, Browning threw for 453 yards and 6 touchdowns. As for Petlansky, the 6'3", 225-pound junior came up big in Central Catholic's 31-19 win in the Division IV state championship over St. Margaret's. For the game, Petlansky was 11 for 16 for 168 yards to go with touchdown passes of 20 and 26 yards, and he rushed for a touchdown.
A credit union is a not-for-profit member-owned financial institution. Can your bank say that? Demand more from your financial institution. Make the switch to Schools Financial Credit Union for low loan rates, state-of-the-art technology, making accounts accessible anytime, anywhere, and more ATMs than most major banks. Anyone who lives, works, or worships in Sacramento and its surrounding counties is eligible to join. Be part of the credit union difference and bank happily ever after with Schools.
We want to thank our title sponsor, Save Mart Supermarkets. Shop Save Mart up and down the Central Valley.
Good to be with you as we talk high school football, the grand finale almost for high school football. The state CIF football championships here in StubHub Center in Carson. Folsom. So many good teams. That's an all-time great team. Let's talk more football. It's on the brain. It's not leaving until January at least.
I know. Well, the CIF announced over the weekend that the state championships, state football championships, will be at Sacramento State for the next 3 years. We're talking Football galore in the capital city. We think it's a great choice. And venue-wise, when you look around this particular location, it's nice. I mean, it's really nice. It's set up differently than Sacramento State, where you'll have everyone on the sidelines, so no one in the end zones. But we think with how it's laid out, how they run it, it's going to be very successful. And we're excited. And another thing, if they end up having a regional championship for every section champion, that's going to mean perhaps more games.
You know, Roger Blake, the executive director for the CIF, he likes to talk about the wow factor. What is that? Well, he wants kids to come into Sleep Train Arena for basketball or the StubHub Center or Sacramento State and go, wow, look at this. When people look at me and you, they go, wow, look at that. No, this is a feel-good wow. This is good stuff for the state CIF, and kudos, and Sac State has earned it. I think it's great. And Sacramento's a football hotbed. Got some good football coming that way.
All right, let's talk some more football, Joe. We've got the Optimist and Small School All-Star football games with a Sacramento Bee name on both of those. They'll be this weekend. We'll start off with Friday's game. It's the Sacramento Bee Small School Classic. It'll be held at Capital Christian High School, Friday, 6 o'clock. It's going to be North versus South, seniors, a lot like the Optimist game. We're real excited. You're going to see guys like Tim Rollins of Colfax, John Voder of Bear River. You got a South squad that's led by Winners guys and Capital Christian guys. We're looking forward to it.
We appreciate how fun small school football is. Central Catholic, state champion. You know, there's an example. Winters, a small school powerhouse. Capital Christian. Having it at Capital Christian highlights a small school stadium, and so it's earned, and it's fun. It's something we put our hands around. We want to see small schools succeed. And then on Saturday, the next day, at Folsom, 1 o'clock kickoff is the 58th Sacramento Bee Optimist All-Star Game, as the Sacramento Bee is merging with the Optimist Club to help raise funds for Camp Ross Rellis. Senior stars galore. Trey Nahas, the running back star from Monterey Trail and Elk Grove. Couple Folsom guys. Bailey Leolagi. He's going to log another game. He wants to. He has to, he says.
He has to.
Tyler Crandall, also from Folsom, will be there. We told Jake Browning he wasn't good enough to make the cut. Actually, he'll be heading up to Washington. But a lot of players. Check SacB.com for rosters. CharacterCombine.com for tickets. No rain. We ordered no rain, so we're in good shape. It's going to be fun. That's the grand finale for football, finally.
And if you can't get your tickets online, you forget to, there will be tickets you can still buy at the gate. All right, Joe, it's going to really put the wrap on football for now.
Football All Metro, that's the grand finale. We keep looking for grand finale. Then we'll say, no, it's the letter of intent in February is a grand finale. Spring workouts is a grand finale. A lot of good stuff in the Sacramento Bee. Our photo crew is excellent. We were in the photo studio watching the Player of the Year portraits for volleyball and
which
soccer.
Was, oh, no, I don't got to hold that.
and you can see the fun behind the scenes stuff, and it's all building up to our end of the academic year awards banquet. We have great athletes, great leaders, great coaches in our area, and we like to honor them accordingly.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and if you're a basketball fan, we got to throw this out. We will be out soon. We're putting football to bed first, and then we'll be out covering the top 20 for both. All right, remember, when you want to catch this show, it is on every Tuesday on Comcast Sportsnet California. Check your local listings, usually a Tuesday at 4:30 airing. It tends to re-air Wednesdays, Thursday, Fridays. Again, check your local listings, and if you can't see it on TV, you go to where?
You go to SacB.com, where we just have a full menu of good stuff. Photo galleries, stories, columns, reviews, previews, and show links to the SacB finest high school coverage in the land.
If you don't say so yourself, right? All right, folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week from the Optimist game.